But the point is I'm no lawyer, but I understand this stuff, and I spent several days reading the bill, and I wrote the analysis, and I went to Section 213, and it says for any crime, any investigation, any misdemeanor, we break in your house without warrants and spy on you. And they have snatch and grab provisions in Patriot Act 2, and they have, and Section 802 states that the Patriot Act can be used for any misdemeanor, any crime that violates any federal or state law that endangers human life. I mean, go read it. They changed the definition from threatening violence or carrying out violence for political aim or taking hostages, the classic definition, and it strikes those and says all misdemeanors. And then the feds tried to pass in Washington State and Rhode Island, just two places, and it came out in the news that when the state senators and governors would get in trouble when people read the bills, they'd say, well, the feds asked me to pass this, and it was a copy of the Patriot Act, but it said, if you protest, life in prison in a forced labor camp. If you desecrate the American flag, including having it on cups or napkins, life in prison, forced labor camp. You can go read the bills. It said if you intimidate a state or federal official, if you protest them, life in prison, forced labor camp. It says forced labor camp. One of them was Senator's menace bill. It almost passed. That was in the Oregonian and AP. I mean, you can't make this up. So I knew all this. But I want you to know it's 100 times worse than Senator Feingold is saying here. This thing says all misdemeanors are an act of terrorism. So, see, you can go find articles from every major state. Just search the term Patriot Act used for regular crimes or non-terror issues, and you'll see different states. I've seen headlines like 20,000+ people had the Patriot Act used on them for drunk driving and marijuana crimes, or CPS using Patriot Act. The thing was written for you. Homeland Security was written for you. Everything was written for the American people. Everything. The DHS report, gun owners, veterans, liberals, conservatives, libertarians, Bob Barr supporters, Ron Paul supporters, anyone who protests the Fed. We got the secret Army documents. Then it became mainstream news that the Army watches Ron Paul, his brother, me. I told you I've had the Army follow me around for years. They've threatened me in parking lots. And, when these guys come up and get in my face twice, block my car in, and they're there, special forces types. These aren't just your average stupid, or dumbed down weekend warriors. I'm not saying you're bad, but you know what I mean, kind of doe-eyed, not knowing what's going on. They're predatory. They think they're tough. They're into being into precision. They're into their mission. They wear a uniform. They attack enemies, and they're now in America. And they let me know, we're watching your ass. You ever try anything violent, we're going to get you. And I'm like, what the hell's your problem? And in both cases, I said, go take some more vaccines and get out of my face. I feel sorry for you. And I do. I feel sorry for them. You think you're so tough. You think you know what power is. You think you know what evil is, little boys. And you don't. You don't have the mental strength to defend the republic. You don't have the mental strength. You are in an adolescent child psychology arrested development where you like being patted on the head by the big guys in the uniforms. You like being sent out like hunting dogs. Sociologists, psychologists, and many statesmen have pointed out for thousands of years that it takes more courage to go against the pack and against authorities and against your bosses, just like the German soldiers followed orders and the high command followed orders. It takes more courage to say no to illegal and unlawful crap than it does to charge machine gun nest. You want to have real courage. I know I'm telling the truth, and I know I'm right about what I'm covering. And if you just look at what I'm claiming, you'd find out I'm the best friend you ever had. And I'm sick of the death threats, and I'm sick of your baloney. Oh, I know you're tough. You've killed a bunch of people. Why? You've gone out and carried out assassinations in third world countries. Big deal. It's easy to pull the trigger on somebody. Easy. I pulled the trigger on a lot of people with my fist, and it doesn't mean I'm proud of it. I've beaten people's brains out. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. I'm ashamed of it. You want to be all John Wayne macho? They programmed you with cartoons with G.I. Joe, all psych warfare. Go watch it now. All predictive programming. And you're following that. You know what? They know that when you're 45 or 50, you're going to wake up That's why you've got cancer viruses that are connected to your hormone levels. And you're going to die of cancer. You like that? You think that's funny? And go ahead and laugh. And go ahead and kill me. Because you've already killed yourselves, you dumb pieces of trash. And you know deep in your gut, you're hearing veritas. You're hearing truth directly from a red-blooded American and a red-blooded Texan. I will not dishonor my family in their name. My family on the Mayflower. My family in 1776. My family in Texas independence. I will never disgrace my family. And I will never disgrace my people. And I will never be with you cowards and you scum and you traitors. Do you understand me? I rebuke you. If you've got any soul left, you ought to hit your knees like Saul of Tarsus and be transformed into true warriors for liberty and freedom that you were meant to be. It tears my guts out to see you fall to evil. We'll be right back. I'm going to play the Patriot Act clip when we return.